All right, everybody, welcome to NorCal Sports Network. And this is the same hat that Brock Purdy's dad wears. Chat loves it when Marty Lurie comes on.
Anytime you lose a game this time of year, when you can't go backwards, it's a problem.
All right, everybody, welcome on in. Breaking news. Golden State Warriors are landing Jimmy Butler from the Miami Heat. Yes, that's right. You heard it right. Breaking news. Jimmy Butler on his way to Golden State for Andrew Wiggins, Kyle Anderson, Dennis Schroeder, and a number one draft pick next year, 25, that is lottery protected. So welcome on in. We'll have others joining us shortly. And let us thank our sponsor, Chapman Law Group. Chapman Law Group, located in Marin, 415-613-9483. Give Chapman Law Group a call for all your legal needs. Could be a personal injury case or documents, whatever it is, give Chapman Law Group a call. All right, guys, come on in. Come on in. Here we come. Give you the full details of the trade here. Let me get the full details here. One sec while I turn the music off. There we go. All right, the full details of this trade are, well, I hit the wrong one. Let's see, Shams. Okay. Here is the full detail. Lindy Waters. It's a 3-team deal. The Detroit Pistons got involved in this. It's Jimmy Butler to the Warriors for Andrew Wiggins, Dennis Schroeder, Kyle Anderson, and a protected first-round pick, which is this next draft's pick, which is pretty good because the Warriors, if they don't make the playoffs, they will go into the lottery, and then they will not, that will convey as 2 seconds. If they make the playoffs, it's not that great of a pick that Miami will end up getting. So it's not a bad situation there. And they also, in the deal, as again, it's a 3-team4 Detroit is receiving Lindy Waters and Josh Hart. So the Warriors are losing 4 players. Right. But you think about it, the only player that really is of significance is Andrew Wiggins. Schroeder, you could say he's a good backup guard. Anderson wasn't playing much. Plus, you get rid of his contract, which has got 3 more years to go. And then you've got, so you didn't give up Kuminga. You didn't give up Pods. And you get rid of the contract of Wiggins, who had a few more years to go. So your big 3 now, it's Jimmy Butler, Steph Curry, and Draymond Green. So the Warriors has agreed to a new 2-year breaking. Jimmy Butler has agreed to a new 2-year, $121 million extension. So you've got $60.5 million. Him and Steph are eating up $120 million roughly for the next 2 years.
Yeah, that makes me like it a little bit less. What I will say real quick about that is it does match the timeline of Steph and Draymond, at least. Yep. So, if it's a bust, they're all going out at the same time.
Yep. That's it. So tell us your thoughts on this. $121 million extension. So now you're really top heavy. Really top heavy.
I think it definitely limits us the next 3 years. I'll say what I love about this deal is you kept all of your young players that really had a lot of value. You're keeping Kuminga, you're keeping Pods, you're keeping Post, who I like a lot. You're keeping TJD, who has value, I think, to some teams. You're not losing any picks, really. It's a protected first-round pick for this year, I believe, was the most recent thing I saw. That may have changed. I don't know if you saw a new update on that, Dan. I think that's kind of what we talked about before, Dan, with, if you're going to give up a pick, we were both okay. We've talked about it a lot, that we don't really think this team before, after, even now, much worse than a 500 team. So this pick, what's it really worth? It's not worth too good of a player, in my opinion, especially with the draft history the Warriors have had in the first round, late in picks. They don't usually get star players there. So I'm okay with that. I'd say, say the money thing gives me a little bit of more risk that now that's coming out. But what I will say, what I like with that is that, you didn't give up really any future assets. And basically you're committing to Steph, Draymond, this timeline for 3 years, while also keeping your young players, so that, if it becomes a bust the next 3 years, you still have Jonathan Kuminga, you still have Brandon Podziemski, and you're still going to have all your picks. So you're not in a position like Phoenix or a lot of these other teams where you've given up all your assets.
Correct. And, I don't blame KD for not wanting to come to the Warriors. Think about it, guys. If KD comes to the Warriors, the news is if the Warriors were fortunate enough to win a championship, it's all, KD needs Steph. And KD doesn't want that. KD doesn't want to. He's already done it. He's moved on. He's, been there, done that. Why do I want to revisit that, even if Draymond's gone? So I think, and I just saw something else come across the board with Shams. What is it? Is there another trade? Dennis Schroeder is headed to Utah, so he may play against the Warriors tonight.
Wow.
And Kyle Anderson to Toronto is part of this multi-team trade. Wow, you may face Schroeder here. That's weird.
That is weird.
I can't wait to watch tonight's game. Dennis Schroeder going over to the other locker room, was probably in the locker room, heard the news from Steve Kerr and maybe Dunleavy in the locker room.
And don't you think that was really respectful that they did that? Because, we're seeing all these other teams during the trade deadline. A lot of people didn't even know they were going to get moved. I mean, Wiggins wasn't even a franchise player, and I think that's nice that they at least gave them, a little heads up so they didn't read about it on Twitter or get a call from, a friend.
Yeah. Just see here.
And then Red Jet Show in the comments, she says, agreed. I think that would have been a can of worms that doesn't need to be reopened with KD. Yeah, I think you're right, Red. And I think KD he's a big Twitter guy and he's on social media a lot. So he probably, I think what Dan said is true, that he probably doesn't want, if we were to win a ring or if we weren't, a lot of the blame is going to go on Kevin Durant and then the credit's going to go to Steph. So I think he just probably felt like it wasn't a win-win. I would just disagree with that, just in the sense that I think, if KD comes, at the end of the day, in the history books, 3 rings is 3 rings. And, he has a chance at another finals MVP if he came. But I'm still really happy with this move. I think this, I think the only bad end of this is the money part of it. But at the end of the day, it's not our money. It's Joe Lacob's. And, at least he's willing to make a move. I was really afraid, and I even shared a tweet that another Warriors creator posted that if nothing happens this trade deadline, the Warriors are the San Francisco Giants. And I'll leave it at that for my take on that.
Yeah, definitely not the Giants. They definitely are working at trying to make it happen. If it works out, it helps. Also the Kings made a nice move today, guys. I see Kitchen Handy in here and Senior. I like the Kings, what they're doing. They got Valanciunas. That gives them 2 players, both from Lithuania, Sabonis and Valanciunas, that played on the Lithuanian team. Both guys are double-double threats. And I think the Kings, with what they're doing and getting Zach LaVine, they're building something for the playoffs. They're building look, when you get into the playoffs, you need bulk and you need guys that can bang it up down there. Now you got Valanciunas can shoot the three. That can leave Sabonis to play a little bit more inside instead of, sometimes Sabonis is out there at the top playing them together. You can, don't they still have Anthony Lynn?
Right. Yeah, I think that was a great move for the Kings. I think, the West honestly got a lot better overall. I don't know if the Lakers Luka move, will do numbers for them this year in terms of the wins, but overall that's going to make them a lot better. I think the Spurs got better. I think, in a way the Kings got better because I think Fox kind of in a way like Clay was for us last season. When you have a player who doesn't really want to be there, doesn't want to extend, it kind of can be a little bit toxic for some of the players. And he seems super happy on the Spurs. He's having a great game already today. And, I think overall, most of the teams made some really good moves. And I think, especially in the NorCal teams, the Kings and the Warriors are definitely looking to compete while also not, sacrificing too much of their future, which I think is a good spot to be in.
Oh, yeah, I agree. I wholeheartedly agree.
And then I put a poll out on YouTube for everyone. If you guys want to vote on it, see a lot of people watching us, just whether or not you guys like the trade. Let us know what you think.
A poll. That's cool. I didn't want Butler earlier, and I'm not crazy about Butler, but it does give them a legitimate second option that you could really go to. And then when you get Kuminga back, it really could make the team, you might have a triple threat there. And
right.
So I think this is overall, it's the Warriors, as long as you have Steph, you got to make a move. And it's not a move that sets them back if things don't work out. They didn't, mortgage the future. They don't. So I like Jimmy in the playoffs because Jimmy is a post-up guy. And when he sets his mind on scoring, they're going to double team, a lot of times have to double team Jimmy, and that'll leave Steph open for a kick out. And so I think this will give them a little bit of rejuvenation, and hopefully they can mesh quickly.
Yeah, and we said this earlier. I don't know if you just hopped in, Bird. Nice to see you in the chat. 2 years, $121 million extension comes with that trade. That is correct.
Yes.
And then, I guess real quick, a couple other things. Do you think the Warriors make any other moves? What other, moves do you see coming here before the end of the trade deadline, just in general? Or do you think this is kind of it for the big moves in the NBA? Or what do you see? Got about, I think, 16 hours left for the trade deadline.
I think there'll be some other. I think there'll be some other deals that go down. I think this is definitely not it. I could see the Warriors still adding another type of piece, whether that be a Vucevic. They still could do that. You've got $8 million with Looney, and you can move Buddy Hield now because we got to remember what's going to happen is the playoff rotations are going to shorten, and you're probably going to play 8 or 9. Okay. And when that happens, you're not going to need a Buddy Hield. So Peyton wasn't in this deal, right?
No.
Okay.
He was not.
So I could see a Vucevic still coming for a couple of seconds. In fact, they could do, I'm just thinking off the top of my head, you could go Looney, which is $8 million. Kyle's gone. You could go Buddy Hield, that's 8.7. So you're 15.7. So you need 4.3 million. You could, I don't know. Maybe they go a little over and throw in a Peyton and they get somebody else back besides Vucevic from Chicago to match.
Right.
And they just streamline the thing. So in fact, I'll work on that while you're going here. Let me see what I can come up with, because I do think they would like to still, unless they think Post is a guy that can solve some of that, but I don't think so. I don't think he's ready yet.
Well, I just got a notification. Someone's at my door, so I'm just going to hop off. I'll be right back on in like 5 minutes.
Okay. All right, guys. The big 25 says bad move, already declined 2-year option. No, he just accepted a $2 million a 2-year option. Let me pull it up. I'll show it to you. He has agreed to the option. Okay, so Shams. Let's see. Where is it? Let me see if I can pull that up for you guys. Shams. Oops, wrong one. Got the wrong Shams account. Hold on here. Here we go. Let's get the official Shams. Okay, let me just pull up and I'll show you what's going on in here. He already signed the extension. So let me pull that up. All right, here we go. Shams. Okay. Oh, another player headed into Miami in this deal is PJ Tucker via Utah. So Dennis Schroeder's headed to Utah. Kyle Anderson to Toronto as part of the multi-team trade. Let's see if we've got any more on Jimmy Butler with the contract. There you go, right there, guys. New Golden State Warriors star Jimmy Butler has agreed to a new 2-year, $120 million extension with the franchise through the 26-27 season. And Butler is declining his 25-26 player option for this new $121 million deal. So that was the big 25. Do you still think it's a bad move, or do you like it now? Let's check out our poll here. Let me go on my phone, take a look at the poll, and see what we've got here. I'm curious what the poll says.
Hey, can you show me how to
Hold on here as I'll turn my volume down. All right, the poll is good trade, yes or no. Right now, it's 55% say no, 45% say yes. So Kitchen Handy says Dennis Schroeder getting bought out. So he could be free to go anywhere with if he gets bought out, and see where he ends up. What happens if he ends back up with the Lakers, where he did pretty good there with LeBron? Lou Martian says, absolutely a joke. Dunleavy's a fool, trading a top player for someone refusing to play. Has disaster written all over it. Yeah, exactly. Utah's not going to keep him, so he probably won't be playing tonight. He's probably going to get bought out quickly. Let's see. What else do we got in here? I'm looking here. Okay. Brooklyn Opinion says, horrible. We gave Butler $60 million for 2 seasons. Yeah, that's right. That's pretty crazy. So the Warriors end up giving $121 million, $60.5 million a year to Jimmy Butler for the next 2 years, plus Steph's got his 60 plus. So now you're, 2 players eating one. You really don't have much salary after that. You got Draymond at around 24, 25, and that's it. So you got 3 players eating up $85 million. And you know what? I will show you the current Warriors salary structure right here. Let me pull that up for you guys, and we'll look at their salary structure, what they got here. Well, they still got Wiggins on here. Okay. Still got Wiggins, but remove Wiggins. Curry, $55 million, 2 more years after this season. And same with Green and Butler. So they're all three will have 2 years left after this year. So Green gone, Schroeder gone, Anderson gone, Lindy Waters gone. So they kept their young guys in pods, and Kuminga, Moody, Trace Jackson, Davis, Gee, Santos. Looney's still around. So you could, guys, you could look at a trade situation if they really wanted to go for Vucevic. They could do a trade that looks like this. Nikola Vucevic coming to the Warriors, going to hold on here. What the heck happened to Looney? Why am I not seeing? There we go. Looney. I don't know if they want to get rid of GP2. I think they like his defense for the playoffs. See, what else could they do if they really wanted to get Vucevic? It would take, let's say they go Buddy, and then they go 2016, so we need 3.3. Waters is gone. I don't think they want to get rid of pods at this point. So you could end up going. Yeah, that makes it tough. That really makes it tough to get Vucevic. I think they might be done. I don't think they can. I think they can do it more.
I think they're done because apparently the Bulls also reports came out they wanted a protected first-round pick for Vucevic, which the Warriors just weren't biting on because that's all they got for Levine.
Right. I'm trying to see how they could pull this off. Let me see. Maybe they don't have to have the match. Let me try it with these three guys. I don't think it worked. Oh, it is successful, so they can do it. Let me see if they can. Let me do it without Santos and see if they can do that.
I think they want to keep Santos. Yeah,
it can work. Go. Okay, so you don't need to match salaries that way,
and that would make the team a lot better.
There you go. There's the trade, because in a lot of cases the salaries have to match, but because Chicago is not over that apron situation, it's funny how it says minus 13 wins.
And they can move Buddy to another team, I bet, that needs a shooter.
You know what? I'm just curious. Well, no, I'm not going to do that. That was like a 4-team deal, that 4 or 5 deal trade team that got that whole thing worked out for Butler.
Wow.
Because there was a couple other guys.
So who did we end up? What's the update? Maybe I might have missed something in 5 minutes. Who are all the players we gave up for Butler?
You gave up. Let me pull this down here, and I'll put this back up. There's more guys going. Schroeder's going to get bought out by Utah, it sounds like. Let's see. It's Kyle Anderson on the way to Toronto. PJ Tucker is going to Miami from Utah. What else was there? I think that's about it.
Then we got this super chat from Brooklyn Opinion. Thank you for the donation, Brooklyn. They say, does this mean we can't afford Kuminga now? No, because basically you can't make trades for more salary. But if you look at a team like the Celtics, or we can talk about other teams like the Suns, yeah, you can go over the apron. It's not a hard cap. It's not, at the NFL. It's just you get really restricted. Basically, the Warriors re-sign Kuminga next year to something that he's asking for. They're going to be basically locked into not being able to trade anything is what is gonna, like, they won't be able to make trades.
Yeah, you've also got if Kuminga's somewhere near 35 million, roughly, I would say anywhere between 35 and 40 is what he gets offered on the market. And they have to match that. They've got tied up between the three players, Steph, Butler, and Draymond. They've got 185. Well, Steph's 55, Butler's 60, so that's 115 plus 25 for Draymond. That's 140. You add 40. You're about 180 if you add Kuminga, roughly 175 to 180. I don't know, what is the apron situation. Where's it set at?
I believe it's either 160 or 180. You'll have to check. It just recently changed. But the thing I'll say with that too is, it's all just going to be luxury tax bills and, not being able to. Joe's really not worried about that. I think Joe just didn't want to get rid of his young players and picks, which he didn't in this situation. I don't think Joe's worried. People in the chat are saying this locked us up salary wise, luxury tax, this and that. This isn't a Giant situation or, a lot of teams in the league. Joe Lacob is the best comparison I could give him in sports is Steve Cohen. He really just does not care about how much the luxury tax bill is. He's seen it, from the value of, he's much more thinking about the Warriors as a franchise and increasing their value, whereas he could care less how much the bill is every year. That's why they actually changed the CBA rules, were because of people like Steve Ballmer and Joe Lacob in the NBA just being in that Ishbia, being willing to pay whatever it is. So I think the money thing doesn't really worry me. I think as long as we're able to, do something with Kuminga, I could really personally, and curious what your take is, Dan, I could personally care less about all the salary tax stuff, because I think, you kept all your picks in the next 3 years. I think this is who they're riding with. I'm okay with that. It's better than what we had, in my opinion. Just in terms of a playoff chance, I've seen Jimmy Butler, carry a Heat team to the finals.
Yeah, I mean, if Joe Lacob doesn't care, what do I care about his money? I mean, it's his money. If he's willing to shoot, the dude refused to trade Kelly Oubre when the Warriors won 15 games that year and paid a freaking huge freight for not getting rid of Kelly Oubre, because he thought they could still. I mean, I don't know if they won 15 or maybe that was the year they won like 38, 40, whatever it was. They didn't make the playoffs. Or is that the game they actually lost to LeBron in the? Is that the year they lost?
That was that play-in.
Play-in.
I was at the second play-in game. We lost to Memphis at home.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that was the year they had Oubre, right? Yeah,
correct.
So Joe paid the freaking luxury tax, even though everybody and their brother knew that they weren't going anywhere that year.
Yep.
You thought, well, maybe they can get into the first round and win, but that wasn't a winning team. So Joe has a history of paying the luxury tax. So, it's kind of like the Dodgers. What do they care, right? What is Steve Cohen? What does Steinbrenner care? So the bottom line is the Warriors, decided to go with an older Butler. What is Wiggins, 29?
Yeah.
I think Miami is going to get better.
Yeah, well, because Butler wasn't even playing for them, so I think for Miami, I agree.
I mean, they're getting who? They're getting Wiggins and PJ Tucker, and they're getting another player.
They're getting Kyle, right?
No, Kyle went to Toronto now.
Oh, gotcha.
Kyle went to Toronto, and Schroeder went to Utah. So this is at least 4 teams involved in this. I don't know if there's a fifth team. What is Sham?
And then while you're looking at that, I'll pull up this super chat. Thanks again, Brooklyn. Kerr is going to run a toxic small ball lineup and hinder Butler with the motion offense. We will suck till Kerr is gone, or we actually play big. What do you have to say about that, Dan?
Interesting. Small ball. You could have a small ball. You could have Draymond at the 5. Does Jimmy play the 2 or does he play the 3?
Where's very interchangeable between the 2 to 4.
And the 4.
The 2 to 4.
What is he,
depending
like
on the team.
6'5"? 6'5", 6'6", Butler.
Yeah, and he plays big when he needs to.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people, I'm curious about what your take is on this. Where is it? Rob C, mod in the chat and longtime listener says Jerry Jones equals Joe Lacob. I saw a lot of people say that. What do you have to say about that?
What was the question?
Basically, that Jerry Jones and Joe Lacob are the same.
Oh, yeah, they're meddling. They could be a little meddling, thinking they know everything. I'm sure Joe pushed for this, and so we'll see. A lot of people are not happy. How's our poll doing? What's our poll saying right now?
Yeah, so I ended the poll. It was 57% of the voters said bad trade, 43 said no. So a little bit leaning toward. Yeah, I ended it. I put a new poll out.
What's the new poll?
Oh, it just said, can we get this to 100 likes?
All right, yeah, give it a like and subscribe, everybody. If everybody would do that, we can get to 100 likes on this show. That would really appreciate it. Just click, if you're watching on your phone, click that X and it takes you over to the little thumbs up button. We really would appreciate that. Where are we at with likes right now? I have no idea, but guys.
Yeah, and anyways, we'll checking that out. Moji says Dre at the 5 is a disaster. He is just not the same player. Well, what's nice about this deal is my understanding from the reports are you keep Looney and you keep Post. So your only size you're really losing is Anderson, who unfortunately just wasn't playing. I think he could have brought some value to the Warriors, but I don't really think this means that Dre is going to be at the 5. I think they're going to continue, and we'll see in a few minutes when the game starts here in 20 minutes. I think they're going to continue to start Post. I don't think Dre goes to the 5 now.
Yeah, George Curry. Jimmy is tougher than Wiggins, but his age doesn't help the Warriors. This is definitely a Joe Lacob deal. He likes to acquire big names. Losing Schroeder, not a big deal, and sending Anderson's contract. Yeah, it's really Butler for Wiggins when it comes down to it.
Yeah, and role players.
And probably a 2 second round picks. Is what it really that's what this deal is. If it's a first round pick, if the Warriors make the playoffs, yeah, it's a one that's probably going to be somewhere around 18 to 19, 20.
Well, if they win a playoff round, it'll be even worse.
Right. Yeah.
Which is what they're thinking this gets them at least is to, a conference championship, I think is what they're thinking is behind this.
Well, yeah, I think they're trying to win it all. The odds today, FanDuel, I got in the other day, bet some money on the Warriors because I was just, $10 to win $1,000, right? And the odds were 100-1, basically. So you bet, or what was it, 10,000 to 1, rough, that's what it says. So you put a little money on the Warriors, you win $1,000 for $10. The odds drop to 4,300 earlier today, and then Durant came out and it pushed it. It was like pushed it to 65 to 1, and then it pushed it all the way back to 900. So at one point it was, but right now it's back down to 4,300. So $10 wins you 430 on the Warriors. So,
but they still basically they think that Jimmy more than doubled our odds, right? Because you said it started at 10,000 before any trades.
Now it's 4,300. Yeah, let me just
see. So the Vegas thinks it definitely improves our championship hopes. So I guess in that sense, it's definitely not a bad move.
Now, let me give you the current odds right now for the NBA Finals. Right now, it's Boston at plus 210. So you got to bet $10 to win 21. Is that how? Wait, let me see.
Well, yeah, and then George makes a comment when you're looking at the odds. He says Warriors lineup tonight is bad. Steph, Pods, Hield, Green, and Post. No scoring. God help us. Yeah, I think, losing Wiggins until you get Jimmy back, it's going to be, rough. I think we still hopefully can beat Utah tonight. Tomorrow against the Lakers is going to be a rough one.
Do you get Jimmy back? Did you get Jimmy here tomorrow? He hasn't.
I'd like to see that. We'll see if it's possible. We got a lot of new people watching us today for this breaking news. We do cover almost every Warriors game, and anything breaking news in the NBA or in the sports world, we do cover over here at NorCal Sports Network. Not just a NorCal network, but also covering all the teams. So make sure to give us a watch.
Yeah, there you go. In their new threads. Take a look at that.
They already got the jersey swapped. I mean, I've seen the Jimmy one in the Warriors a bunch, but they're quick with it, these people, some of these guys.
Yeah. So
no, Travels, I'm happy about the trade. I think a lot of people in the chat are mixed. Dan and I at the beginning, I don't know if he's changed his stance. Maybe I missed it, but we are happy with the move in terms of the sense that you didn't lose any young players. I'm really excited that you kept Kuminga, you kept Pods, you're keeping all your important picks. I think the only thing that's a concern is, is Jimmy going to be happy here for the next 3 years? And then is it too much money? But I think overall, I'm really excited. I'm really always looking forward to, the Warriors competing. And I think this gives us a shot in the playoffs. And, like I said earlier on the live stream, I think Jimmy has carried a lot of really bad teams to the finals, and now he has a number 1A, 1B. Him and Steph can have a crazy pick and roll. I think the important thing is just going to be keeping everybody healthy and actually making the playoffs. But I think if we can get in there and we get the right matchups, I think this definitely makes us a scarier playoff team, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the odds makers, they went from 9,000 earlier, right after the trade, dropped to plus 4,400. So they're right behind Dallas at plus 4,100. Houston's at plus 4,000. They're gaining on the Clippers, who plus 3,500. So D-Loading says this trade is huge, and they kept the capital to still go after Vucevic. The first they gave up was a top 10 protected, which sucks anyway. This is fantastic. So is it top 10 or top 14?
Yeah, I think it's either top 10 or top 14, but either way, that keeps it so you're not giving up a potential star, more than likely.
Right. Yeah, I think the Warriors are thinking they're going to get into the playoffs with this move.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I think they will. I think this team now, as long as Jimmy can stay healthy, I think this team will get in the playoffs, because I really don't think we lost that much depth. It's really going to me, in my opinion, it's going to be, can Jimmy Butler provide more to you in the regular season than Andrew Wiggins was? Because in my opinion, you weren't playing Kyle Anderson. You weren't. I mean, Schroeder, I guess you're losing Schroeder too, but Schroeder, unfortunately for us, was averaging like 10 points a game. I think he's a great player, but I really do think that we have other players on the bench. This team's so deep. I've seen how great Moody's been playing. I know everyone who's a Warriors fan loves Moody. He's been at 9 out of his last 10 games, over double-digit scoring. He's been really aggressive. I think we have Pods showing life. I think you have enough. I mean, Kuminga's coming back too, so I think Kuminga kind of replaces what Schroeder was giving us as that 6-man microwave scorer, and even more, because Kuminga is a better scorer, in my opinion. And I think, you don't, if you're not playing Kyle, you don't need Kyle. So I kind of just went over everyone. And then Lindy Waters, I think Guy Santos has made him irrelevant, in my opinion. And, Frank has come on our show. Great. Hooper knows hoops, and he thought Lindy Waters was like not even an NBA player. So I'm definitely not super. I think the only bummer is going to be Wiggins and Schroeder. But in my opinion, I think, Jimmy will provide us more if we actually make a deep playoff run.
Yeah. It was a 5-team deal, and Rick, I had a comment up here. Where did it go? Boy, the comment. Warriors, Rick, they already paid him. Too late. Your comment, Warriors would be dumb to pay Butler. They've already agreed on a 2-year extension. He's basically ripping up his player option for this next year. So that's the deal. So they are, it's Steph, Butler, and Draymond for the next 2 seasons after this.
Right. And then Travelers, I missed the homers for the past few years. Dan and I both bet on the Warriors on this channel live to make the, not make the playoffs, but to get 44 wins. So we're definitely not, we're definitely, I wouldn't call us homers, but we're definitely not negative on the Warriors. I love the Warriors. They're my favorite team in the Bay. And we're definitely, I think the only reason we're not super as excited is because, you see all these other big moves like teams getting Luka and, we heard Kevin Durant stuff. It just, I think that's the only reason we're not like jumping up and down. But I think it was a good move. I really do.
Well, if you miss homers, travelers, you've come to the right place. When Ryan's on, you've got Golden State's biggest homer.
Yeah, he's right. I definitely, I like I said, I'd be a lot more excited if, I just think Jimmy comes with some risk, but I am excited. I think this makes us a lot better of a playoff team.
Yeah. This way, the Skeeto says this way we can give Moody a fair chance to get minutes with a young Bulls team. Steve Kerr really dogged out Moody for the time he came into the league. Oh, talking about maybe going after Vucevic. I mean, you can go to players. We had the trade up here earlier, Buddy Hield and Kevon Looney. I don't know if I would rather keep Moody than Hield, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, I'm keeping Moody. I think Moody's shown a lot this year. I think he's a really good player.
I mean, guys,
not a starter necessarily, but great player.
You can do this trade right now if you know what I would do. I would if they are hell-bent on a number one for Vucevic, I'd just give it to them in like, okay, you can have 2031 and it's top 14 protected.
That would be, I would do that. That would be dirty though, because as the Warriors, it's gonna be.
I know, that's why I said I would do it.
Yeah.
Like here's your one. See if you can pull it over.
You're thinking of something, and then what? Tell them that if it doesn't become a one, it'll be 2 2s or something like that. Yeah. You're onto something. A lot of teams have been doing that lately. This trade deadline.
It's like, dude, you really want your one here. We're not giving you 26 or the 20. You already given up next year's pick, right? The 25. It'll be in this summer. So right. I'm not giving up the 26. Forget it.
Right.
You want one when Steph and it's going to be protected though.
And you know what I like about this trade too, and I'll say, and I don't know if you've mentioned it when I was off, but I think it's good because it makes the Suns worse. They had all this drama. They had all this KD was going to get moved. Beal was going to get moved. No one got moved. They didn't get Jimmy Butler, and they're stagnating. So I think in a way it's good because, you had the Suns and I forget the other team that got off some players. Oh yeah. I mean, in a way, maybe you can kind of, make KD upset for not coming and passing up the Suns. I think, there's a lot of opportunity with how close it is in the West to move up in the standings.
Lou says he's not nervous, still expecting his money soon. They're 25 and 24. What time does this game start tonight? Any minute?
Yeah, 7 minutes. So we're going to wrap up the show here. We'll kind of say our final thoughts.
Let me just look, see what time. Yeah, 7. Okay. So game time starting up, guys. We'll probably, I don't know if we'll come back tonight. I see Larry's got a post-game show with a trade breakdown of this trade. So we'll let that go. I think, guys, we'll be back tomorrow night for sure after Warriors-Lakers.
Yep.
Maybe Jimmy Butler suits up. Wouldn't that be something? So big news.
Yeah, and if anything goes down tonight, if we see any other Warriors trades, before the end of the game, even if it's not a big one, we'll definitely hit the end of the game. Or obviously, if they trade for a Vucevic or anything like that, we will be breaking that to you, or any other crazy NBA news or MLB or anything in sports.
Yeah, hey guys, upper right-hand corner of the screen, Better, BETR, the official daily fantasy sponsor of NorCal Sports Network. Go download that app right now on your smartphone, BETR, put it in and put in the promo code NCSN. You put in that promo code, you get a $250 match, first-time match, and a free pick. So Super Bowl is coming up. Lots of fun props and different things you can do, parlays and different over-unders. It's a blast, guys. Both Ryan and I have the better app. Lou has it. Go download that app. It's also in the link in the description of this video, right? It is in the description.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So you click on that and that takes you right to our promo code. You just sign up. All you need to do is start with $10 to get an account going, and they'll give you 10. So if you don't, look, it's free. Basically, they're giving you $10. So $250 deposit match, can't beat it. And it's fun. So go do that now. As we get off this podcast, it would be good. Just download it, hook it up to your bank account or however they do it. There's different options, and you can have a lot of fun with it. It's great. And like I say, up to $250. So I put in 100. I think, Ryan, what'd you put in?
I put in $20.
$20.
Super
Okay.
committed, but it was good. I'm not a huge bettor, but I actually did win. And so, yeah, I have 50 in there now because I just placed a $10 bet, and I'm going to place some before the Super Bowl. And but yeah, it's good because the minimum's 10 guys. So if you're not super committed, not everyone's a huge betting person. It is fun for me. Like I put $20 in and I just do it every here and there where I want to get a little bit more fun before the game.
There we go. Thank you, Dan. Coach Miller. Coach Miller. That's close. Coach Emilio, but I'll take Miller. It's easier to spell. That's for sure. Coach Miller. Coachy Miller. And Ryan.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
And I saw a nice comment here from Travelers too.
Good. Go ahead and put that one up. I was clicking.
He said this channel deserves way more love. We appreciate it. Yeah, we're growing. Dan, I'm not on here much. I'm only the basketball guy. Dan does this though every day almost, and he's super dedicated. Loves sports, and check him out, guys. He's doing this every day almost.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys. Yeah, we are. We're putting videos out on a daily basis. We're doing lives. We cover the San Francisco Giants, everything that's major that's happening in baseball, anything big news, we'll cover it. And
players on, old GMs. Yeah. We've had Casey Schmidt on. We've had Ned Coletti's a monthly guest, comes on a couple times a month. Marty Lurie should be doing a show with us next month. And we're going to get some basketball guys in our repertoire too, but definitely the place to be if you want any insights from players or ex-players and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, cool, guys. We really do appreciate you being here. And we will see you definitely tomorrow night after Warriors-Lakers, and maybe earlier than that if something big happens. Have a great night, everybody, and go Warriors as they take on the Utah Jazz.